All right, welcome to the second review of the evening. Up this time is Afterplace. Afterplace is an open world adventure game filled with silly characters and terrible secrets. Explore the woods, find hidden paths, hack and slash through strange monsters, and try very, very hard not to break reality. Or don't. You do you. This game isn't your mom. Like, anyway, so we got the Nintendo Switch version of Afterplace, and thus it was handed over to Petty for review. So over to him for the details.
All right, so in real basic sense, this game is very similar to the GBA era or not, Game Boy era of Legend of Zelda games. Think like Link to the Past or the Oracle games. Um,
You're zoomed way the heck out from that.
that's one of my pain points with this game is I didn't have a lot of time to play this on a TV. So, if you're someone who wants to play this on the Switch and you only have a Switch Lite or typically play in handheld mode, probably best to
I don't
avoid
think it
this
would
one.
be that much better on a TV. There's still just the issue that, I mean, it might get better in some areas, but right now,
On
66% of the screen is literally not doing anything.
Yeah, like it's a little better than what it was actually looking at it on the Switch itself on my monitor because I switched over to direct capture. So
Uh-huh.
it's a little better on a TV, but it's almost unplayable, at least to me, just in handheld mode.
Like, it looks like it should be zoomed in to the point where this diamond is the whole screen.
Right.
I don't think there's. I mean, maybe there will be at some point, but the question I'm raising here is there any point where you need to see this much of the screen at once?
And I have not gotten that far if that is a thing. Another thing I'm not the biggest fan of is sometimes it's hard to tell where the quote unquote doorways are.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it looks like they're mostly doing the thing where there's like a little bit of a trailing path that goes off the screen where there is one, but
Sometimes, but not
not a big
always.
one.
Yeah. Like sometimes there are just, if you rub up against a wall, it will let you in. And then there are sometimes it doesn't.
All
Um,
right.
you do go around and you find money. There are vending machines around. I've not noticed anything like
Is there stuff to? Oh yeah, vending machine. So there's stuff to buy, but
yeah.
it's
You can get armor from the vending machines. You can get items, both healing items. I don't know if there's any like actual proper shield. You do have a dodge roll, and you have a sword.
uh-huh.
Um, One of the items you can pick up through dungeoneering is a lantern. Um, the snoozy time tea that I picked up, you actually, if you drink that, it will take you to the basically treats it as you died. It'll send you to where you the like checkpoint ish area where you go when you die. So that's kind of funny. I guess problem with that is respawns take a while. It's not you're instantly back in. It can take over a minute before you're at the respawn location and ready to go again. And there's no indication on what's going on. It's just a black screen. First time it happened, I thought my game was broken. And then yeah, it's a lot of dodging combat stuff. I hope I can find some healing items. You can either get healing items from vending machines, or there are destructible objects sometimes strewn about. Okay. And yeah, that's just another one of the weird things. I imagine this is probably a. Oh, that's another weird thing. To select options like yes or no options, you need to use the bumpers. You can't just hit up or down. And I have no idea where I am. Oh, fuck. That's a train. Anyway, yeah, so I guess this is where the reality breaking gets into play. Um, so yeah, now we're getting into abject horror. And I died. So yeah, this I don't want to say this game has a whole bunch of like absolute horror into it with the art style. Adam, I think I'm
Yeah,
getting.
we're echoing off you again, Adam.
Is it fixed? Seems to be fixed. All right, and yeah,
Well,
this
he
is.
left, so
And this is kind of like my a big issue is I've been dead for a little while now, and I'm just sitting here. I can't pull up a menu. Okay, that finally did it.
Like, yeah, sorry. Turns out phone was too close to the speakers.
Hmm.
That's happened before.
And this is your rabbit buddy. I guess he's technically the guy who saves you when you get knocked out. And then yeah, he gives you tips and stuff like that. Um, there isn't really like a set path that I've seen. You just kind of explore around, which classic Zelda fashion. You kind of figure out the path you want to go. Um, I'm assuming that cave is where I was supposed to go because I just got the lantern in the previous level. I'm not a big fan of how chatty the enemies are. Let's like while you're roaming about, because it's hard for me to keep track of what they're saying and keep track of myself in the middle of combat. And then yeah, this game is kind of interesting. I just wish I had more time to play it on my actual TV. Music is very much, genre appropriate. And then, yeah, talking about big swords and stuff like that. It's hard to keep track of stuff. Um, the writing can be funny at times. Uh, anything? Any questions or comments from you guys?
No.
What are you looking at price wise, Adam?
Yeah, I think I piped in with most of my stuff, which is mainly okay. I can understand some games being zoomed way the fuck out, but this one doesn't seem to need it, and it seems to be actively detrimental.
I'd say pretty typical pricing for a game like this at $15, 14.99 USD.
Mm, uh, if if you're someone who wants to play this, is this available on other consoles or just Switch and PC?
I don't know offhand. Let me see.
Good.
Mm, oh, um, Linux, GeForce Now, Microsoft Windows, Mac OS. Apparently, also has a mobile version of this.
Yeah, that
Um,
actually sounds worse than playing it on the Switch, unless you have a tablet.
I mean, I will say, using a fucking touch control pad and buttons is probably one of the excuses for having that amount of fucking empty screen real estate in the corners of on the sides of the screen.
I Yeah, I could see that. I didn't see if this has any touchscreen support. I doubt it, just because playstyle. Um, but yeah, if you're someone who wants to play this on some like a handheld mode, probably not the best unless the devs want to add a zoom option. Because if I could even
mm,
just zoom in like 10% more, this would be a far better experience for me. But like overall, like it's if you liked the older style GBA or I want to say GBA, but it's Game Boy era Legend of Zelda games, you might enjoy this. But yeah, overall it's fine, just not something I'd recommend playing in a handheld format.
mm. All right then. I guess one last note: the mobile version is cheaper at $7.
Mm,
So I guess if you want to develop eye strain, that's your consideration. So anyway, I think that's about it in terms of us discussing this game.
mm.
So that means that's about it for Afterplace here. Be sure to tune in after the break as the Galix reviews Boulder Dash 40th anniversary.